Okay, this video is to show you how to do the resistor simplification tutorial in Circuit Tutor. So I'm in the main menu. I'm going to click on Resistor Simplification. And as is often the case, you would start by doing a pretest, which I'm going to skip right now. Then you would do an online brief tutorial on the web, which also I'm going to skip as that's fairly self-explanatory. And then you're at the main menu, so as usual, you can view examples at 3 different levels of difficulty in this case, easy, medium, and hard, or you can work problems. As always, I do recommend that you look at examples first, so let's look at a mastery or a hard level example. And when I click OK, that's basically going to show how to combine everything in series and parallel in this circuit. So for example, all these elements are highlighted in red because they are in parallel. And then it shows you how to use the formula to combine those things and to replace all of them by a single element. And then it goes through and it combines these two to form this one. Shows the calculation here, combines these two in parallel to form another resistor. Down here, the 1.5 ohm, and again it explains the calculation, how you take the reciprocal of the sum of the reciprocals, as you do in parallel. Or in series, of course, you just add the values, and eventually it would simplify it down to a single resistor and tell you the final value. So it's fairly straightforward. We just have to understand the series and parallel relationships and then know to add resistor values in series and to take the sum of the reciprocals of the values and take the reciprocal to get the parallel value. Okay, so after viewing some examples, then you could work a problem. Since these different levels are really all pretty much the same except for the complexity, I'm just going to illustrate something at the hard level. So here this shows us the resistor value we want to find, or the equivalent resistance rather, looking in from this pair of terminals. So now we're just going to click on things as we did in the series parallel tutorial. So for example, these two are in parallel, and then we would just combine them in parallel. Click this button here. Again, you do have access to instructions if you need that. It'll explain, the instructions which are similar to that in series parallel. You can always go back and repeat the web tutorial here. You can give up if necessary, as always, for no penalty in Circuit Tutor. If you give up, you just have to work another problem if you can't finish it. In any case, I'm going to combine those in parallel. And now it simply asks me for value, and you wouldn't have the answer here. That's only for because I'm an instructor that I get the answer, but basically that would be the answer, and you don't have to put it in that many digits, but let's say 0.89. And it tells you it made a slight correction on that just to be a little bit more accurate. And then you could say, well, these two are now in series, and so you could click the button to combine them in series. And again, you just put the answer in there. Again, it's putting a little bit more than I need. And then you could say, well, for example, these actually these 4 are all in parallel, so I could click all 4 of those and combine those in parallel all at once, and then I would have to take the reciprocal of each of these values on my calculator, add up those 4 reciprocals, and then take the reciprocal of the result, and when I do that I would get 1.82. Entering here, and that automatically then simplifies a little bit for me. And then I have to combine these two in parallel, so I'd select those two, just click the button there, and of course 2 equal resistors in parallel, we know that that's going to be half the value, so that would just be 3.5. And don't put units in the answer box. That's the one thing. You don't try to put units there, just the number is the only thing you put in the answer box. And finally, we'd combine those last two in series, and that's just adding the values, so be about 5.32, say. And now we're down to a single resistor. We can't obviously simplify that any further, and so we would just click that button to tell it we're done, and we finish that problem. And in fact, if you finish the hard level on this tutorial, you don't actually have to do the easy and the medium levels, because the learning objectives are all covered in the hard level problem. So in this case, it would put us straight into the post-test, and you would then do the post-test, and then you'd take the survey, give us some feedback, and then you would be done. So that's pretty much it for the resistor simplification. Thank you.